Have you ever wondered how a country's economy can spiral into an inflation rate of 143%? Well, today we're diving into the case of Argentina. Let's set the stage. We're talking about Argentina, a country renowned for its rich culture, tantalizing tango, and breathtaking landscapes. But beneath this vibrant exterior, there's an economic enigma that has perplexed economists for years. We're referring to Argentina's staggering inflation rate, which has recently hit a whopping 143%. This might seem like just another number, but what does it really mean? Let's break it down. Inflation, simply put, is the rate at which the general level of prices for goods and services is rising. So, imagine going to your favorite coffee shop one day and finding out that the price of your go-to latte has doubled, or even tripled. Yes, that's inflation for you, and Argentina is experiencing it at an unprecedented scale. Why does this matter to the world? Well, in a globalized economy, a financial crisis in one nation can send shockwaves across the globe. From investment risks to trade imbalances, Argentina's inflation dilemma has far-reaching implications. For example, as prices in Argentina soar, its exports become less competitive, affecting global trade dynamics. Moreover, foreign investors, wary of the unstable economy, might pull out their investments, causing further economic turmoil. But don't let these alarming figures dismay you. After all, economics isn't just about numbers and charts. It's about the stories behind these figures, the real-life implications, and the potential solutions to these problems. As we delve deeper into the intricacies of Argentina's economy, we'll also explore how the country's new leadership plans to tackle this issue. Let's embark on this economic journey and unravel the mysteries behind Argentina's staggering inflation. To truly understand the present, we must travel back in time. Argentina's path to 123% inflation didn't happen overnight. Let's hop into our metaphorical time machine and journey back to the late 20th century. Argentina was once the poster child for economic prosperity in Latin America. But as with any story of decline, a series of unfortunate events and decisions led the country down a path of economic instability. In the 1980s, Argentina grappled with a debt crisis that left the economy reeling. Then came the convertibility plan in the 1990s, which pegged the Argentine peso to the US dollar. While initially successful in curbing hyperinflation, it left the country vulnerable to external shocks. And shock it did when the global financial crisis hit in the late 1990s, leading to a deep recession and a massive devaluation of the peso. The government's response? A series of economic policies that, while well-intentioned, only exacerbated the problem. Attempts to control inflation through price freezes and currency controls, for instance, only served to distort the economy and fuel the black market. And then there's the role of corruption. From misappropriation of funds to manipulation of economic data, corruption has been a constant undercurrent in Argentina's economic saga. It has eroded public trust, discouraged foreign investment, and most importantly, diverted resources that could have been used to address the country's economic problems. Fast forward to the present day, and the result is an inflation rate of 123%. It's a staggering figure, a testament to years of economic mismanagement, government interference, and rampant corruption. As we can see, a combination of poor economic decisions, government interference, and corruption led to this economic nightmare. Now that we understand how Argentina got here, you might ask, what does this mean for the rest of the world? The impact of Argentina's inflation is not confined to its borders. It directly influences global trade, international relations, and foreign investment, and here's why. Let's consider global trade first. Argentina is a key player in the agricultural sector, especially as a major exporter of soybeans and beef. When inflation soars in Argentina, it destabilizes the prices of these commodities on the global market. This can lead to a domino effect, causing price fluctuations in countries that rely heavily on Argentina's exports. Next, we move to international relations. High inflation rates in one country can strain its relationships with others, particularly in terms of trade agreements and loans. Countries may hesitate to engage economically with a nation experiencing such instability, which can lead to diplomatic tensions. Then there's foreign investment. Argentina's inflation has been a red flag for many international investors. High inflation can erode the value of investments and create uncertainty about future returns. This can result in a significant pullback of foreign direct investment, which is vital for economic development and growth. But beyond these direct impacts, it's important to remember that we live in an interconnected global economy. The the financial health of one nation can impact the well-being of others. For instance, if Argentina defaults on its international debts due to inflation, this could trigger financial instability in countries that have lent to Argentina. In essence, the ripple effects of inflation in one country can extend far beyond its shores, influencing economic activities across the globe. It's a stark reminder of how intertwined our economies have become and why it's imperative for us to understand these effects. Argentina's inflation isn't isolated, it sends ripples across the global pond, affecting countries near and far. Enter Javier Milei, the newly elected president of Argentina, stepping into this economic maelstrom. A noted economist, Milei is known for his unorthodox views on economic theory and his fierce criticism of Argentina's fiscal policies, which he believes have led the nation down a path of rampant inflation and economic instability. A disciple of the Austrian School of Economics, Milei holds dear the principles of free markets and minimal government intervention. He's a firm believer that the key to economic prosperity lies in the hands of individuals and businesses, not the state. His proposed plans to combat the inflation crisis in Argentina reflect these beliefs. Milei's first order of business? A comprehensive audit of the nation's public spending. By identifying and eliminating wasteful expenditures, he hopes to reduce the deficit and slow the rapid rise of inflation. He also plans to implement policies promoting free trade and deregulation, aiming to stimulate economic growth and create more opportunities for Argentinians. However, these plans are not without challenges. Milei's libertarian economic views are a stark contrast to Argentina's traditionally interventionist policies. Resistance from those who fear the consequences of such drastic changes will likely be significant. Moreover, the entrenched corruption within the government and public institutions could also pose a hurdle to his reform efforts. To add to these complexities, Milei also faces the daunting task of restoring international confidence in Argentina's economy. His policies will need to convince foreign investors that Argentina is a safe and profitable place to invest. This is no small feat given the country's tumultuous economic history. In conclusion, Milei's presidency marks a pivotal point in Argentina's economic narrative. His unconventional approach offers a fresh perspective on the country's inflation crisis, but it also brings with it a host of challenges. Only time will tell if President Milei's plans can steer Argentina away from its economic woes. Now that we've explored this economic roller coaster, what are the key points to remember? Let's take a moment to recap the journey we've been on, threading together the intricate tapestry of Argentina's economic saga. Firstly, we delved into the enigma of Argentina's soaring inflation, reaching a staggering 123%. We traced the footsteps of this economic phenomenon, discovering that it wasn't a sudden occurrence but a gradual crescendo over time, fueled by a complex interplay of factors. Key among these factors was government action, or inaction, and corruption. We found that such elements served as catalysts, accelerating the inflation rate and exacerbating the economic woes of the South American nation. The ripple effects of these missteps were not confined to Argentina's borders. Indeed, we explored the far-reaching global impact of Argentina's inflation. We discovered that in an interconnected world, a single nation's economic turmoil can send shockwaves through international markets, affecting commodity prices, trade balances, and even diplomatic relations. Then we turned our attention to the newly elected President Javier Milei. We investigated his potential role in untangling this economic Gordian knot. We learned that while the task is monumental, the right policies, transparency, and a commitment to social justice could set Argentina on a path towards recovery. So as we conclude, it's important to remember that economic turmoil, such as Argentina's inflation crisis, is a multifaceted issue. It's not merely about numbers and percentages, but the lives of millions of people and the stability of global economies. Economic turmoil is a complex issue with no easy solutions, but by understanding its causes and effects, we can better navigate these choppy financial waters. Thank you for joining us on this economic journey, and we hope you'll tune in for more insightful discussions.